What I love about Hammonton the most is the people that live here.
The people? The people are fantastic.
La calidad de las personas.
The way the community gets together.
It seemed like a sense of community.
Yeah, strong sense of community.
I love how sincere everyone in Hammonton is.
We're also rooted in tradition here.
The traditions among the town.
The arts.
Activities and sports.
The bar and restaurant scene.
Events.
Friends and families.
The small town feel of Hammonton.
I would love to see Hammonton have more biking trails.
I feel like we need to expand more on the arts.
There could be more inclusivity with everybody.
I'd like to see the diversity continue.
More outdoor dining.
More playground equipment that's updated.
Accessible playgrounds and open spaces.
Downtown they should have more stores and stuff, for people to go in.
More police officers on duty at night.
Even more artists.
I would like to see a movie theater here.
Más eventos comerciales.
More people here need to get more involved.
I think it's important to get involved.
It would be nice to see more people involved because it really is a wonderful town.
Hammonton Heart and Soul is Grassroots, an apolitical project that aims to connect people with what they love about where they live. A small group of Hammonton volunteers have worked collectively to help get this project going. We've been around town chatting with residents and having candid conversations, asking what their hopes and dreams are for the future of Hammonton. We want to collect more stories. We want your story. And we are intentionally seeking out the voices of those who are rarely heard. We seek to first determine what matters to the people of Hammonton and then use this information to steer change rather than simply respond to it. Through Heart and Soul, we hope to be able to identify the qualities that Hammonton residents really treasure The people, the places, the experiences that make us who we are. We are just beginning our work, and we want to hear from many more of you. Once we collect and review the information, we will use this data as a launching pad for local businesses, community leaders, and organizations to steer the course of our collective future. We aim to grow in a manner that Hammonton residents will embrace and trust. We ask you to consider participating in Heart and Soul and share your insights with us. Help us to build a home we love. Together, we can help create change to make Hammonton better for all of us.
Hammonton Heart and Soul es un proyecto sin fines políticos que tiene como objetivo conectar a las personas con lo que aman sobre donde viven. Un pequeño grupo de voluntarios de Hammonton que han trabajado colectivamente para ayudar a poner en marcha este proyecto. Actualmente estamos realizando entrevistas para poder involucrar a los residentes en conversaciones sobre sus esperanzas para el futuro de nuestra ciudad. Esperamos involucrar a todos en nuestra comunidad y estamos buscando intencionalmente las voces de aquellos que rara vez se escuchan. Buscamos primero determinar lo que le importa a la gente de Hammonton y luego usar esta información para dirigir el cambio en lugar de simplemente responder a él. A través de Heart and Soul, esperamos poder identificar las cualidades que los residentes de Hammonton realmente valoran, la gente, los lugares, las experiencias que nos hacen ser quienes somos. Que realizamos más entrevistas y escuchamos a muchos más residentes de Hammonton. Una vez que recopilemos y revisemos la información, utilizaremos estos datos como plataforma de lanzamiento para que las empresas locales, los líderes comunitarios y las organizaciones dirijan el curso de nuestro futuro colectivo. Nuestro objetivo es crecer de una manera que los residentes de Hammonton acepten y confíen. Le pedimos que considere participar en Heart and Soul y comparta sus ideas con nosotros. Ayúdanos a construir una comunidad que amemos.
Welcome to Kramer Hall. With a variety of course offerings, public programs, and continuing education opportunities, Kramer Hall is the ideal location for you to continue your academic journey. My name is Christina Birchler, and I have the pleasure of serving as the director of Stockton University's campus here in Hammonton.
And my name is Nick Zabrowski, and I'm in charge of student and community programming.
My experience at Kramer Hall has been excellent. So as the director of the Master's Program in Counseling here at Stockton, all of our classes are held exclusively here at Kramer Hall. The staff are super attentive, and we often say this is our own little family and this is our home.
Even though it's just one building, I wasn't really sure what I was going to expect, but the staff is always so nice. I say hi to literally every single person I see. I always feel so welcomed and warm when I'm here. It's just a really good environment to learn in.
I would say definitely how close-knit the town is. There's a lot of little shops, bakeries, and everything that it's a little town to explore, which I think is really cute.
So my experience at Kramer Hall, it's been amazing. I absolutely love this area. I don't have to fight over parking, which is amazing. And it's more compact. There's not a lot of people, so it feels more homey and more cohesive.
I think just the environment in general. I love the art. I love everything that's kind of comforting about it. And like I said, it's really nice to come somewhere that you just feel safe. You feel safe leaving, you feel safe coming. It's just a really nice environment.
It's like an intimate setting. I can find my professors when I want. So there's this awesome guy named Nick. He's just always there. He's on the ball, easily accessible.
It's been wonderful. It's for example, everyone's been supportive of me. When I was trying to get into a practicum, all the teachers reached out to me, and I just thought that was a wonderful thing. I didn't even have to reach out to them. They all reached out to me. It just blew my mind.
I like the small city feel, so everyone feels like they know each other. The local shops are all so wonderful and so friendly, and it's just such a nice experience exploring the town and really showing what Hammonton has to offer.
We're here for you.
Take a class.
Visit our art galleries.
Use the computer lab.
Study in some of our quiet spaces.
Meet with your clubs and organizations.
Or attend a free workshop.
There's always room for you at Kramer Hall.
Councilperson for Joni.
Here.
Gribben.
Here.
Oliva.
Here.
Olivo.
Here.
Rodeo.
Here.
Woolerman.
Here.
Mayor DiDonato.
Here.
Present also Mike Malinsky, Town Solicitor. Robert Batiste, Public Works Manager. Mark Herman of ARH, Town Engineer. Notice this meeting has been posted and given to official newspapers. Please familiarize yourself with the fire exits to the right and rear of council chambers. Please do not proceed beyond the front benches without invitation from the mayor to do so. Also, each person who wishes to address council will be allotted 5 minutes.
All rise for the pledge, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first of two opportunities for the public to be heard on action items. Step to the mic, please. First of two opportunities, if you have something on the agenda. Seeing no one, I'll close that public portion. Can I get approval of the executive minutes from June 20th, the council meeting of June 20th, and the special meeting of July 6th? Approval for all the minutes, please. Motion, please.
Motion, Mayor.
Rodeo first.
Second.
Second, Gribben. Discussion on anything? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain. I was absent for that meeting.
Okay. With the abstention, motion carried. With that, we'll go into presentations, and we'll start with Deputy Mayor Gribben. I believe he has a presentation.
Yes.
I'd like to call up Scott Rivera with the Deputy Mayor and a little presentation for an employee. Mr. Bradbury, if you want to come up too, please.
So we want to recognize our longtime town employee, Bobby Bradbury, with a recognition. Come on up here. So it's my honor on behalf of the town to read this plaque presented to you tonight in sincere gratitude for the hard work and outstanding service you've provided to our community over the last 36 years. From the thousands of days worked and countless miles driven on our roads to the everlasting friendships and unforgettable memories, you have been an instrumental source of leadership and success for which we are forever grateful. As you retire, know that we will miss you and that your shoes will not easily be filled. May all your years ahead have an abundance of joy and fulfillment as you move on to this new chapter of your life. We, the residents of the town of Hammonton, along with Mayor and Council, wish you the best that retirement has to offer, with our sincere appreciation for all you have contributed to our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank
Good
you,
luck.
Bobby. You all have a good night.
You too. You too.
Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby, and thank you for your hard work. Bobby, every time I look at you, I think about the time you and Richie, the many times, used to cut my lawn years ago back, and God rest his soul, Richie, I miss him. Yeah. Thanks, Bobby. Great job. Great job. You're a great guy. Thank you. Chief, come on up.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members, members of our community. I'm here this evening because we have two individuals we'd like to recognize that have retired from our police department. Yeah, this thing is on. As I always say, that to me, it is our police department is a family. We really are. You know, sometimes, you know, we love each other. Sometimes we get mad at each other just like siblings do, but we always work together, have each other's backs to protect our community and keep everybody safe. Unfortunately, one of the members that I wish I had longer developed a medical condition and is unfortunately unable to perform his job as a police sergeant, so he had to retire. So the first person that I want to recognize this evening is Sergeant Jason Rigby. Sergeant Rigby came to us as a new officer in 2006. He was with the Middlesex County Sheriff's Department. He came to us. He was a person who was definitely driven by traffic and accident and crash investigation. It was his forte. He loved it. He actually was a leader, received an award from MAD for DWI arrests. He went on to become one of our drug recognition experts. He then became our traffic sergeant. So he was in charge of all of our operations with any of our DWI patrols, our traffic grants, reviewed all of our crash reports, and was definitely instrumental in making sure that our department was getting grant money and doing what we need to do to keep our community safe. He has survived being struck by a vehicle, came back to work, had his hand broken, came back to work, and unfortunately then later on in his career got sick, and unfortunately to our loss as a community and as our department, he's had to retire. But his expertise has been passed on to many because he was the kind of supervisor that was not just a leader, but a mentor, someone who taught. Every skill that he had, he imparted to everyone that he worked with to make each person better. So I would like to call up Sergeant Jason Rigby so that I can present him with a plaque in recognition. Sergeant Rigby, in recognition for your 16 years of dedicated service with the Town of Hammonton, this plaque is presented to you from the men and women of our police department. And of course, as I said, everybody's family. No one leaves without a shadow box. I know that you can't put this uniform anymore, but you will always, in our hearts, be our brother and be in this uniform, and we're always here for you. Our second individual, unfortunately, had a family emergency this evening and said that he couldn't make it, but it's certainly someone who needs to be recognized. Someone who started here a year after I did as a public safety telecommunicator and worked way back when we were in the old building in the basement. Mr. Paul Sacco, who is our Chief Public Safety Telecommunicator, has dedicated 28 years of service to this community. He was a person who started out at the ground floor. Actually, like I said, we were in the basement. We were below ground floor, and worked his way up to being the Chief Public Safety Telecommunicator. He was certainly a person who was dedicated, was always here way before time, always here in the same parking spot, right, guys? Okay. He was a person who was very much organized to the point of making sure that everything ran the way that it was supposed to. We do appreciate his 28 years of service. So I'll read it aloud even though he's not here. The Hammonton Police Department recognizes Chief Public Safety Telecommunicator Paul Sacco in recognition for your 28 years of dedicated service with the Town of Hammonton. So I'll have to get a picture with him later on because he couldn't make it this evening to recognize his award for his work with the Town of Hammonton. Other than that, Mayor and Council, that pretty much wraps up our presentation for today. But as I always say, that when we lose a few to attrition, we will ask for a couple more, and actually Mayor and Council is already working towards that so that we can keep our great community safe. And one other thing that I would like to add, as it was kind of out there in social media, we had our Mount Carmel Festival, and since nowadays, the world is a very crazy place. You don't know what to expect. We made sure that we took every precaution to make sure that all of our citizens of our community, the participants in the festival, and those visiting to be entertained and enjoy it were safe. And we will continue to use every measure that we can muster and that we can legally do to make sure that our community stays safe. And I want to thank Lieutenant Coonan for helping to head that out, and all of the officers that participated, because it was an all-hands-on-deck event, and we always will make sure safety in our community is job number one for us. That is the most important thing. So I want to thank Mayor and Council for being supportive of that, and I want to congratulate again our retirees, and we'll probably have a few more on the horizon line, as there's only a few of us left that are longer in the tooth, but we will definitely be a few of us still here, but we have a lot of new faces, and we'll have a few new more. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. And just for the record, that they were not snipers.
No.
They were police officers that were there just with a better vantage point to make sure everybody was safe. Because, you know, when you have statues going through town that have money on them, cash on them, and we live in a world where things are evolving and changing every day, as you say, you just need to take precautions. So they were not snipers. They went up there with their equipment and proper equipment for the conditions.
Yep, to protect the community. Matter of fact, we have only one officer that's still certified as a sniper, and he was not on the building with a long gun, so we're good on that.
All right, thank you very much. And if Lieutenant Coonan's running the operation, you know it's going to be, we're going strong, and that's where we're going. All right. Thank you, gentlemen, men and ladies. Thank you very much for keeping us safe every day and letting us sleep. Sergeant Rigby, thank you for your years of service. I first came on this job in 2010, and we've run into each other a lot, and thank you for all your hard work. I have a lot of respect for you. You are a tremendous officer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate everything you did for me over the years.
Thank you, Sergeant. All right. We'll recess for a couple minutes if anybody wants to get a picture, and we'll go from there. All right? Thank you.
Nothing wrong with
All right, gang, we're going to resume the meeting.
You noticed I got sorry. You came back at me. Because of how you got up.
With that, we'll,
Hey, so you know.
we have a public hearing on ordinance 018-2020. I'd like to get a motion to open up to the public for 018-2020, sale of town-owned land on Reading Avenue. Could I get a motion from council, please?
Mayor, skipping 017.
We're going to table that.
We're going to
Table 17. All right, got it. Sorry.
So 018, could I get a motion to open up to the public, please?
So moved.
Gribbin first.
Second.
Second, Olivo. discussion, or now open to the public, if anybody would like to be heard on the sale of town-owned land. This is on Reading Avenue. We're going to be asking $275,000. It's approximately 4 acres, I believe. Seeing no one, I accept a motion to close the public portion, adopt and publish.
So moved.
Gribbon first.
Second.
Second, Olivo.
And Mayor, this is a commercial piece, isn't it? That's the whole.
This is, it's zoned M.
M1?
M1, I
It's
believe.
M1.
It's in our mixed,
Mixed use. No. This is next to, if anybody's keeping score, it's next to the, there's a boat place out there. No, excuse me, it was a boat, now it's pools.
Yeah, pools.
Excuse me.
Place. M1's could be combo residential, industrial, commercial. It's like total mixed use.
We have first and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Fagioni?
Yes.
Gribbon?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Woolerman?
Yes.
And Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried. 19, ordinance 19, we said we're going to,
I'm going to table
good
that
with
for the
this.
evening. I don't think we had a, yeah.
No, it wasn't.
this is reference to the trees, correct?
Right, so,
Yeah, this
Mayor,
was,
Could I get a motion to go ahead?
I'm going to make a motion to table.
I'll second
Has
that
to be
motion.
reintroduced, because
Yeah.
it was never introduced at the last.
Correct.
Yeah.
And Jonathan and I will speak with environmental on some changes.
Okay, we have a motion to table. We have a first and Fagioni, a second and Oliva. Discussion on the motion. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll jump into committee reports. We'll start with Deputy Mayor Gribbon and admin, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There are a few action items on tonight's agenda from the Administration Committee, which we will take up at a later time. The Admin Committee met on July 14th, where we discussed several issues. In addition to meeting with our code enforcement and construction officials, the committee also met with our court administrator, Crystal Serwinski. We discussed the state of our municipal court, and our court is effectively moving through our caseload. There is an announcement with regard to tax bills. Tax bills will be mailed as soon as the town receives the county rate. There will be informational inserts regarding dates and payment information. Obviously, as a result of the county's delay, we'll be extending the due date of our tax date. We will not know the exact date until we receive the rate from the county. And I know that other councilmen may likely cover this in their reports, but I want to publicly thank our Highway and Public Works Department, and as well as our police and our volunteer firefighters for all their works and efforts in helping to clean and beautify our town and keep it safe, especially in the downtown area for the 4th of July, our Independence Day Parade, and especially for the feast. That will conclude my report for this evening, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Gribbon. Just a quick reminder, your taxes are not due, but your water and sewer bills are still due on August 1st with a late of August 10, correct?
Correct.
Yes, that's correct.
We should also note, if you're delinquent on your water and sewer bills through COVID, you have till the end of the year to catch up. Otherwise, it goes in the tax sale. The state finally let go of the whole holding back on utilities. So please be cognizant of that. You have until the end of the year. Please make your payments. Otherwise, it will go into the tax sale the end of this year for water and sewer. Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Councilman Olivo in Business and Industry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So on June 26th, they had the annual Red, White, and Blueberry Festival, which was outstanding again. Once again, we have to thank John Ruffalo and the Chamber of Commerce and his many volunteers. Fortunately, I was able to be out there that morning when they were doing setup, and it runs really, really well, and I couldn't stay for the whole day, but again, it just presents the town of Hammonton with many of its colors, and it's just outstanding. On July 4th, we had our Independence Day Parade. I think it was probably one of the nicest parades we had in our town in a long time. It was really nice to see many participants, along with many people standing on the sidelines there, from the curb to the business fronts. It was pretty well packed. Thank Main Street and Cassie Icavelli and Brooke Sacco and Kelly Donu for their volunteer work and the many other volunteers. On July 16th, Mount Carmel Festival, the tradition continued with the procession. It's just nice to see that tradition go on and move ahead. Some things that are coming up on August 5th, Friday, it's the food distribution with the cooperation of Atlantic County Sheriff's Department at Mount Carmel grounds. That'll be from 10 to 1. Also on Friday, August 5th, it's National Night Out. That's at the high school grounds. That'll be from 6 to 9. On Thursday, the 18th, it's Third Thursday from 5 to 8. The theme of that night will be game night. Also, the Green Market will be on Horton Street again. We'll also be having a ribbon cutting that night at 6:30 for Glow Spray Bar on 15th, 12th Street. On Sunday, August 28th, it's Touch a Truck. That's from 12 to 4 on 2nd Street. Bring the kids. It's a fun time. They get to touch the trucks, get in the trucks, and it's really a good time. Also on that day, that's the start of the Puerto Rican Week. They'll start out with a mass at St. Mary's, followed by a procession to the town hall. The procession will start approximately at 1:30. The procession will come to the town hall and they'll have the flag raising in front of the town hall. Also, they will be inviting everybody back to their clubhouse for festivities and great food. During that week also, on September 2nd, from 5 to 10, September 3rd from 3 to 10, and September 4th from 3 to 10, the celebration will continue at their clubhouse. On Tuesday, August 30th, the Chamber of Commerce will be having their 34th annual golf tournament. That'll be at Pinelands Golf Club, and that's in honor of John Mazzio. Another new business called Nest Lactation, open above Cassiano's. That's 212 Bellevue Avenue, 2nd floor. That provides breastfeeding support and education for new mothers. There's ice cream spot on North Egg Harbor Road, now has a new owner, Lindsay Torres. It's called La Sacatana, if I said that right. They provide ice cream and snacks. Just remember, shop locally, drink locally, dine locally. It's pretty important. And one other note I want to make is, from a public safety point of view, I'd like to thank the efforts of Frank Sacco, Mark Rogers, and AJ Bernardo for their continued hard work going with inspections. They're doing some surprise inspections, doing their best to clean our town up, and I think they're doing an outstanding job. One of which was we had a little bit of a problem there on North 2nd Street, 219. That building is no longer there. So that's a pretty much direct result of all the hard work that they've been doing. Now remember, they're out there doing inspections, so whether it's a landlord issue, whether it's a tenant issue, they're doing their best to make our town the way it should be, and they're doing an outstanding job. So I think it was worth mentioning that. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman Olivo. With that, we'll jump over to education and quality of life. Councilman Olivo.
Thank you very much, Mayor. On behalf of Quality of Life Committee, sorry, that was me. On behalf of the Quality of Life Committee, Environmental Commission specifically, they held their normal monthly meeting on Wednesday, July 13th, where the committee continued to be busy this summer. They heard 12 tree removal permits. So it's been a busy summer so far for them, and they continue on. So I appreciate the board putting so much continued time and effort into working with our residents. Additionally, from the Green Committee, on Monday, August 1st at 5:30 p.m. at the community garden, there will be our community garden talk on composting. It's something that's easy to do. It's very easy to learn, and it is a big help in any backyard garden. So if anyone is interested, Monday, August 1st, 5:30 p.m. at the community garden for our monthly garden talk. Last item I'd like to bring up on behalf of quality of life. I'm sure I've spoke about it multiple times, but the Lake Water Quality Organization has undertaken a number of studies about the lake with Stockton University. This year, as we had in the last 2 or 3, actually the last 3 years, the lake was not sprayed with an aquatic pesticide that we had previously leveraged to remove bladderwort and other invasive species from the lake in an effort to help us gather more information about the lake with those studies with Stockton. As we continue to investigate the lake, those studies are continuing to come out, but we were previously on a schedule where we would spray the lake with an aquatic herbicide, and that would be sprayed the entire lake in 3 years. We'd spray 1/3 in 1 year, 1/3 in another year, 1/3 in another year. The 4th year you would rest and you'd wait. And we would do that to make sure that we didn't have any issues with either other plant species outside the other invasive plant species or any marine life that was in the lake. In order to do that, you have to apply for a DEP permit to spray that chemical within the lake. It is a $150 permit that we as the town would apply for, and it is good, once it's received, it's good for a period of 2 years. The spraying of the lake typically happens in the April or May timeframe, and with COVID, the extension that the DEP has typically seen in their permits has taken this permit process out to about a 6 to 8 month permit process. So what I'd like to do tonight is to bring up to the board for their consideration the extension of a $150 permit fee for the town to apply to have for a permit to spray the lake in the event that the Lake Water Quality Committee as well as the town decided that was going to be something we wanted to do next year. If we move forward with that now, we would have plenty of time over the course of the next 6 to 8 months to acquire the permit. So if we did make that decision in 2023, we could enact it. If we decided not to make that decision in 2023, it would still be good through the 2024 spraying season. So it would be good for us for a long period of time. But I don't want us to get caught with the extension of that permit timeline. So I'd like to make a motion, if the board be inclined, to approve moving forward to apply to the DEP for the $150 permit to spray the aquatic herbicide in the Hammonton Lake.
Second. We have a first in Livo, a second in Wallerman.
I'm happy to answer any questions on that if anyone has any questions.
Yes, the herbicide, the aquatic herbicide is an EPA registered herbicide and it is safe for use.
Correct.
It's the same thing that we've used in the past.
It is.
Mr. Barbario, when he was here, used it, and I'm sure it's the same type.
Correct. Yes, and the lake was sprayed in 2018 and 2019, and it would be the same herbicide, same application. You need to have a licensed individual that does. This is not a fly-by-night kind of thing.
The chemical's diquat. It's the same chemical. It would be the same chemical. That's what was used in the past.
Yep.
And the goal will be to get a third of the lake sprayed in 23.
Yes.
Starting in 23.
Yep.
Yeah, because from what I understand, I'm hearing that the bladderwort, especially over the last week, 10 days with the heat, is growing, and it's, it's.
If I could make this, it's up to how we go along, but the last, Mr. Barbario did phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 never, ever got done. So maybe we can start there, because that's never been sprayed, that area. I'm sure there's I don't know if Scott has it or somebody has a program. If not, I'm sure I could call Mr. Barbario and he would send it to the areas that he did do and never did. I'm sure Jerry would send that to us without a blink of an eye.
I would agree. And I think that what happened was it was 18, 19, 20, pandemic happens.
Right.
We're supposed to spray in April, and in April no one was allowed to leave their house.
Jerry also.
Yep.
Jerry moved
forward. So I think it's a good time to at least apply for the permit and then work towards reestablishing that process.
All right, we have a first and a second. Any additional discussion?
One other quick note with this. The reason why we want to get this going now One is because, as Mr. Oliva said, the time frame for the DEP permit, it's going to take some time. And two, you don't have a very big window to spray. You only have a couple weeks. The temperature has to be right. If the temperature's too high or too low, the chemical doesn't work. So we got to hit the ground running with the permit so we're ready for spring application.
That would be right, coming spring, right?
Next would be
Too
spring
late for the
23.
fall here.
Yep, do it in the fall.
Right.
And you can acquire a contractor
Right.
or coordinate with a licensed person to perform the spray.
All right, since it involves money, let's take a roll call vote, please.
Councilperson Bajoni?
Yes.
Gribben?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo? Yes. Rodeo?
Yes.
Willerman?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato?
Yes, motion carried.
Thank you. And Mayor, that concludes my report for quality of life. And then moving forward to education, I have a few notes from the Education Committee. Roe Hunter was sworn in as the school board representative representing the Waterford School District, representing Al Pangea. The board thanked Al for his last 5 years of support of the Hammonton School Board, and Ms. Hunter stated a few words that she's excited to get started with the board. The board read into the record a resolution that would move forward with a project to expand classrooms in the Hammonton ECEC building. With the expansion to full-day preschool, the addition of new teachers to accommodate that move, new classrooms are needed, and there's upgrades throughout the rest of the building that are needed. And those upgrades are planned to be planned over the course of the next 2 school years, planned and put into place over the course of the next 2 school years. The new turf field hockey field continues to remain on track for completion before the first field hockey game this year. And lastly, the board took a second to acknowledge Miss Marnie Parks and wished her the very best of luck in her new opportunity as athletic director for Wall Township. I personally, Miss Parks, I think anyone who knows Miss Parks can say she is a fearless advocate for Hammonton sports. She's done a lot for me and for my family, my nephews who've all played sports. So anyone who's played sports either under her, as a gym coach or as an athletic director, knows that she's a passionate advocate of the Hammonton community. So I wish her nothing but the best in her new opportunity, because I know that was a really challenging decision for her. But in the same breath, the new athletic director for Hammonton Public Schools will be Mr. Chris Sacco. I'm very, very excited for Chris to be leveraging his talents back within the border of Hammonton, keeping the Hammonton talent where it should be, which is here in this town. And for anyone who doesn't know Chris and his family are fantastic advocates for our community as a whole, and I have no doubt that he's going to do a spectacular job in that role, and excited that he's going to be able to work with our students. So best of luck to Chris and his new upcoming role as athletic director. So that concludes my report for education. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Councilman Oliva. If we can do one thing, I know I had a couple residents ask me, what was the enrollment of pre-K students prior to going to full day, and what is it now that they need these rooms? I had somebody, I'm hearing that enrollment may not be the numbers that they were anticipating. They may be off by some 50 students.
Okay.
So they may not need as many rooms, so before the taxpayers spend money.
Yep. I will communicate with the school board meeting for their next.
If they can offer numbers, I mean, I don't know how many classes they had previously and how many students in that cohort, but if they could tell us what they have that they expect to be registered in September.
Yep. Then and now, I'll do that. And I believe the $4.7 million expansion is monies that were relayed from the state government and are not leveraging tax increase or taxable dollars because there were additional improvements that were considered by the school board for middle school improvements, as well as the expansion of a larger recreation area in the ECEC for a gym. And I know they were tabled in the previous meeting. So I believe what was moved forward was minus any increase in tax dollars to the residents.
Yeah, that's important. That's important to let the residents know that transparency.
Yep, I will confirm and then make sure that I re-engage everyone in the next council meeting.
Thank you very much. With that, we'll jump over to Public Works and Transportation. Councilman Rodeo.
Thank you, Mayor. We have one action item tonight that has to do with Old Forks Road. I will let Mr. Herman of ARH kind of get into that when it's time and make that action item take place. also the couple projects that are in progress. Also, if we could talk about Valley Avenue, means what everything's going on out there, and where we're at with Schoolhouse Lane. The one thing I like to mention out there on Valley Avenue, I just want to thank the residents for being really patient out there through the process. It's never easy when you get your road done. I had mine done, but when it's done, you'll be really, really happy. It's smooth. There's curb. It's really worth the wait. But I just want to thank them for being patient with the town and the project manager to get it done. The only other thing is Public Works. I know Mr. Batiste has 8 different items. I'll maybe reserve some time there for if I want to say anything through any of those, and I may not, but I'll leave that be. The only other announcement I'd like to make is that I want to announce that the Hammonton Little League board meeting, they're going to have, it's going to be August the 21st at 2022 for anyone that would like to become a new board member. I know there's some change going on down there. It's all good, but anyone that is looking or possibly interested in being a board member at the lake should be at the meeting on August 21st. So that's really all I got there as far as that announcement. But other than that, I think I'm pretty much took care of everything, Mayor, and I will relinquish my time.
Thank you, Councilman Rodeo. We'll jump over to Water and Sewer. Councilman Fragioni.
Thank you, Mayor. A few updates. We'll jump into Lakeview Gardens under Mr. Batista's report. We have some things we want to go over with that. A couple updates I have currently. The front 2 basins at Moss Mill Road at the soccer fields, they are being investigated as part of the turf installation. We are assisting, the town is assisting with pumping those basins out to the adjacent property, which is owned by Mr. Umasella. We notified Pinelands we were doing this. We also received the release and hold harmless. The basins are the lowest I've seen them in years. They pumped one, the small one got pumped today, and they're going to pump the big one over the next couple of days. Once they're pumped, they're going to go in there for soil analysis to see if those 2 basins, along with the back basin, are sufficient to manage the storm water for the turf fields, or they have to be modified. So we'll have a better handle on where they are with their Pinelands application and with the overall drainage of the project once they get all this done. They were out there today digging test pits. They did test pits up front and in the back basin, so that's been done, and that's all part of the contract with our tenant. We're just facilitating the like I said, the basin pumping right now. The drip, the lagoon, is at around 2 feet. We really can't go much lower than that, so we're in good shape with the lagoon. We have 2 trenches partially loaded, and the other 3 are dry, other than a little bit of groundwater, and we're running our drip 6 or 8 hours a day, and that's about it. So we're in good shape out there with our discharge. The fence is installed by the big dirt pile along the back of the second baseball field. That's complete, along with the new gate. And I'll just reiterate what I've been saying month in and month out. 2 things: if you receive a call about a water meter installation, please call us back. We will facilitate it anytime that's convenient for you to get your water meter changed out to a radio read. And also, we're still working on our lead line project. It's a project we want to wrap up this year. If you have a house built in the mid-'70s and it's a house or earlier, and you're not on a road that has been recently done in the last, say, 10 or 15 years, please contact your utility department. They could help determine if you do or don't have a lead line coming in your home. But it is a project that we want to stay on and stay ahead of. So that's all I have for the time being, and then we'll jump more into Lakeview Gardens in a minute.
Thank you, Councilman Fragioni. With that, we'll jump over to the engineer's report, and Mark Herman.
Thank you, Mayor. One item on our report for action is a request regarding the Old Forks Road project. This is the first phase of the DOT-funded project. Our work would entail the road from the Winslow border through Lawn Lane, and we'll stretch it as far as we can. It's about 2,000 feet, maybe about a half mile. Our request for the construction documents, including the plans, specs, the bidding services, and DOT approval is $16,000. So I would ask for your consideration to authorize that work for us to get started on the project.
Can we get a motion for as read, please?
I'll make that
Motion.
mo-
I'm sorry.
Rodeo, Oliva, discussion.
Mr. Herman, a couple things out there. Are you gonna coordinate the looping of the water line off of Third to Lon? as
Yeah,
part of this? All
yeah,
right.
this is included in all this.
And then the other thing is, keep in mind, a couple of residents asked, if we run sewer, if they put in grinder pumps on their own.
This is all, yeah,
All-inclusive.
this work here is a little more than normal because I talked to Mr. Batiste as well about the looping of the water and investigating some of the sewer. So there's a little more work in there than just a typical road project.
And I forgot how we're doing this. We're covering this under the grant, or we gotta cover this on our own? This cost?
Frank, what are we taking this out of the road project for
Yeah,
now?
we have road project from 2020.
Okay.
Ordinance 8 of 2020.
And you're going to talk to the Santours also, because they had some concerns about a couple laterals, maybe they wanted to lower them?
Yeah.
Don't I remember that?
That's correct, yes. Yeah, we're
Okay.
not sure. They weren't sure where they are. So all that work is included
Yeah,
in
if there's
this
anything we could do
project.
while we're
Yeah.
out there, okay, good. All right. Additional discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Fagioni?
Yes.
Gribben?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Olivo? Yes. Rodeo?
Yes.
Wilderman?
Yes.
And Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
Thank you. So to update on the Valley Avenue project, the water main has been replaced. We are progressing on the storm sewer work. We're about halfway done on the storm sewer. Once the storm sewer is done, we'll hop over to the sanitary sewer. Once the storm sewer is done, we get through there, we're gonna, the contractor for the Valley Avenue is the same guy for Schoolhouse. So once they're through some of the utilities, they're gonna shift their utility crews over to Schoolhouse Lane. We're a little behind. It's been challenging with the water main. There's been a lot of unforeseen conflicts in the road. You know, old abandoned mains or laterals that no one knew were there. So it's been a little challenging for the contractor. But they're picking up. The goal was to get as much of the utilities in as soon as possible, so we can at least get the base paving down, right? Give it time to settle. Get cleaned up a little bit. And like you mentioned, I do appreciate the residents' patience too. I know it's, we had an issue where we were creeping with some of the storage and materials. We cleaned it up, and we're doing our best to keep the road passable and clean. So we'll continue to do that. We anticipate in the next 2 to 3 weeks we'll start getting crews across the street here to Schoolhouse Lane, get that utility, those utilities moving.
Back to school sales are already starting,
What's that?
Back to school sales are already starting.
Yeah. But I think it's good. I think we're seeing some different, so maybe some materials are coming in quicker, and maybe a little. So that'll be good.
We're also going to be able to close that road too, and that'll be a little easier.
Yeah, we're gonna close it down completely.
One question, Mr. Herman, out here, the line extends out past here, doesn't it? Aren't we going all the way out to almost Eagle Theater with part of this construction?
Down Vine?
Yeah, we're doing some road work. It's drainage work.
Just road work, isn't it?
Just
Not
yeah.
piping. That's
No,
correct,
so the
yeah.
pipe's going to start at the corner and
That's
we'll
correct.
go.
Yeah.
All right.
We're doing some drainage work, I think, out here, but
Okay.
it's less intrusive as the other one. So
Remilling, that's all.
correct. Yeah. I do think we'll talk more about this as we get closer, but I do think we might conflict with the Green Day event at the corner of Veterans Park. We're pushing to try and not have that, but we'll have to play it by ear. And as soon as we figured it out, we'll have to make provisions to either protect it or maybe, like you said, maybe relocate it for the year.
Yeah.
But
I'd just say let's just talk about what we think that timeline's going to be, because if we do get to a point where like, hey, we're not going to make it, then we just want to allot the committee enough time to make provisions to move to the Lake Park.
yeah, for sure. I should know next few weeks where we stand. I can give you a much tighter schedule.
I would say there's a high likelihood. I would say they should start making provisions now.
Yeah, it probably makes sense.
Yeah, and keep in mind, because we're replacing the sewer line out here, we have to bypass all the existing sewer. So this project, although smaller in length, is going to go slower.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll be a little bit of a challenge out here, so.
Yeah. One other quick update, next door here, the K&K building is on schedule for August 1st to come down. Just to let you know, I just found it out a couple days ago. That's all I have.
Mark, do you have a price for the site plan in Boyer so we can get that going? How do you want to do this?
I do not have a price. for that.
That for the Boyer Avenue site? Mark and I are going to meet, so I can show him what is in our report and what we're going to need for him to put a composite map together associated with
How
it.
do you want to do this in terms of money? Do it as a purchase order, or you want to do it just
Let's-
not to exceed now?
Trying to think what we had left over on the other. We had the burn project. I think
There is a good possibility we're going to have a special meeting, depending on how the committee does with one thing they're working on. I believe Mr. Howell would like to have a special meeting the first week in August.
I don't see it being a huge effort. I mean, if you want to say not to exceed $2,000.
All right, so I'll tell you what, I'll make the motion not to exceed $2,000 for the creation of a site plan at Boyer Avenue. This goes in conjunction with our submission of Pinelands for the drip installation. And then we'll get a quote from Mr. Herman and work on it. But I think we have 30 days to respond, and we're already into week 2, so we want to get
No,
moving.
I actually got a call in, and I text Ernie Demon. Just wanted to make sure, because I think the way it states it in the letter is that right now the application is on hold. And
Yeah.
once we make a new submission, then they have 30 days to review it to comment on that. But I
So you
am
wanna
waiting for
wait
him to
then?
get it back to me.
You want to wait on?
Get back to me, yeah.
Okay, then we'll wait.
Because usually they have, when they ask for more information, they basically put your application on hold, and then when you resubmit, they have 30 days to get back to you again.
Okay.
Just like their initial. But the question was raised to him, I haven't gotten a response back. I just said I
Sounds
want to
like it's
make
going down a
sure
rabbit hole.
that's the procedure. But I think when we talked and we met, the goal is to try and get it to them, back them as soon as possible.
Yeah, we want to get it turned in and finalized, yes.
Like I said, we talked about a special meeting. Everybody, if you can mark August 8th for a possibility on your calendars. August 8th, 2 weeks from today. And then I'm sure Frank and the committee, Mr. Woolerman, Mr. Fragioni, and.
That be at the same time as council meeting, just the
6 p.m.?
times?
I would say we'll have to see when Brian's available,
Okay.
but I would think Mr. Howe's available. But just pencil that in for now, and we have some time to advertise. It's a strong possibility that'll be a special meeting. All right. Is that everything you have, Mr. Merton?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll jump over to Mr. Malinsky and the solicitor's report.
I have one action item this evening. If council is so inclined, I just need a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to execute the settlement agreement and mutual release as provided by Labor Council and discussed in closed.
We get a motion from council, please. Olivo first.
Second.
Second, Rodeo. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Fragioni?
Yes.
Gribbin?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Woolerman?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato?
Yes, motion carried. Have anything else? That's everything? You were nice and easy tonight. Public Works Manager, Mr. Batiste.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll go through the action items first. One is the bike path Phase 2. If you remember, we needed an easement along Egg Harbor Road in front of the cathedral. When they originally came in for a site plan associated with that particular site years ago, there was an agreement with the town, or with their resolution of approval, that they would provide 2 easements. One, an easement, 25-foot easement for bike path installation along Egg Harbor Road frontage, and then there's a drainage easement that we're asking for, just in case we ever had to clean the drainage easement that comes all the way from 3rd Street all the way through to Chestnut Street. A portion of that is on Cathedral's property, not the entire length. So we're going to do an easement for drainage and for the bike path along Egg Harbor Road. So we had gotten a base price from ARH to prepare the 2 legal descriptions of about $500. So we're asking for council's approval to authorize ARH to prepare those 2 legal descriptions. And then we would, once the legal descriptions are provided, we'll give them to Mike so he can draft the deeds associated with that and get them signed and filed.
Can we get a motion for as read, please?
Motion.
Journey first.
Second.
Second rodeo. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Fagioni?
Yes.
Gribben?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo? Rodeo?
Yes.
Mayor, yeah, Willerman? Just missing Ed. Sorry, Ed.
That's okay.
And Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
Okay, the other items are informational, but just for information, we did have a public information session related to safe routes to schools last Thursday. We had a better attendance than we had for Route 54 water, but there was probably about 14 to 20 people, there to ask questions, and the consultant from GPI was there to answer any questions. And also, the information that he presented at that meeting is actually on the town's website. If you go to the town's website and you click on projects and initiatives, there's another category underneath of that for safe routes to schools. It gives the information related to the project, and the time frame associated would be the preliminary design would be completed in 2022. 2023 would be the final design, and then 2024 would probably be the construction. So that would be the time frame associated with that. Also on that website, there's a questionnaire. In case anybody has questions, there's probably a 2 or 3 week period that you can look at the information and then write your questions down, forward that to GPI, and then he'll get back to you with some information. New Jersey Transportation Alternatives Program. That's a program that basically came out this year, but it's for, there's like 7 different articles you can apply for. And we had a meeting with the Taylor Design Group, and one of the items we thought might be applicable is creating the trail in the lake park along the lake and then through out to Park Avenue near Fowler Creek. We did arrange we have to have a meeting, or it's a pre-application meeting with District 4 or local aid district number 4 and the South Jersey Planning and Transportation Organization. That's set for August the 15th. And we'll meet with them, and then it's a Zoom meeting, and we'll go through the project, and then we'll get their opinion on if the town should apply for that or not. Applications are due November the 3rd. So we'll keep the council up to date on how that meeting goes and what their thoughts are on the applications. Route 54 resurfacing, we also had a meeting with representatives from DOT just to see where that project is, and that would be the resurfacing of Route 54 from the Atlantic City Expressway through downtown again to the intersection with the Whitehorse Pike. They're in the process of completing their final design. There'll probably be some easements they need in order to get the grades for the handicap intersections to make sure that they're compliant. They're probably also talking about a 2024 construction schedule on that. So that gives us enough time to get the water project that we've been anticipating. If we can bid that late this year, that'll give us enough time to get that water main installation in Route 54 from First Road to Second Road, replace the old 6-inch line with a new line. And we'll go back to the Lakeview Gardens testing. We did have a meeting related to that project at the PWTC meeting, and right now we sent out 54 letters to various residents in the Lakeview Gardens area. We received 11 responses back. 3 tested positive for the PFOA parameter. And what the town is looking at, we're looking at a couple different options that we could probably apply to make the cost for the testing maybe a little easier on the residents themselves. And I think what we talked about was Anthony DeChico is going to get a price from the towns, who does the town's testing, see what that might be, and then the town would look at possibly paying a portion of the cost of whatever those, that fee might be.
So here's what we did. Mr. DeChico contacted our testing lab, Henderson. They will offer the town a rate of $360 per home if the town does all the coordination. They won't offer the discount to the residents directly. So here's what we're thinking. I'm gonna have, instead of sending out letters this round, I think we need to have Mr. Batiste call the remaining 41 or 42 residents and see who's interested in getting their water tested. The town will facilitate it through our testing company. The residents will pay us the $360. We will turn around and pay Henderson Lab. The catch to it is this, and I want to be very clear on this. Depending on how many people want their water tested or their private wells tested, Henderson's only going to be here for a day or 2 days. They come from North Jersey. So we're going to need to, number one, know how many residents want to get tested under this reduced rate that they will reimburse the town. And two, we'll give you ample notice, but if they say it's 2 days and you can't, for some reason, have your home available during those 2 days, then we're back to square one again. So my next step I'd like to do is call the residents, see who wants to get tested. Step two, we'll let Henderson know a count. Is it 30? Is it 40? Whatever that number is, they'll tell us, okay, they can come out 2 days, September 5th and 6th, some dates. We'll get back to the residents, see if that works for them, and try to coordinate this.
They handle that volume in 2 days, 1 day?
Yep. They said
can
they'll
do
come
40
down here and
tests?
just do it. Yeah, yeah.
Here's the other thing. A lot of the phone numbers are either cell phone numbers, so they're not really in a phone book. So if you're listening to this meeting tonight, please give Town Hall a call. You can call me at the 609-567-4300, extension 101. If I'm not here, they can talk to Frank.
Well,
He
we
won't
could
be
do
here this week, but probably, Kelly.
Here's what we could do. We have door hangers from water and sewer from when we do the water meters. If we have to go do door hangers, it'll take us an hour. We'll do door hangers and let them contact us. I want to get this thing moving one way or the other and get this to Henderson and either coordinate this or not. But that'll be the plan. And the residents can pay the town the reduced rate. And then this will be for the first test only. If you test positive for the first test, meaning you're over the new current limit, you would be on your own for a second test, but would be reimbursed by the spill fund. So this is to generate the balance of the residents in that area for a first test.
I think we even talked
On
about.
your own may be poor choice of words. The spill fund will pay for the second.
I'm sorry, yes. So if you test positive the first round, you pay your $360 to the town pays Henderson Lab. If you go for a retest and you test positive, you will be reimbursed by the spill fund for that test. What we're looking here to do is a couple things. I've been getting calls, Mr. Batiste is getting calls. Some residents want public water. So we're trying to wrap our heads around, okay, how bad is the area? We have 54 residents so far. 3 of the 11 have tested over the existing parameters. Where are we in the scope of the whole 54? Number one. Number two, bring the residents here probably in the fall and put it out to them. There's a couple ways we can go. One is if you test positive, in the short term, I think the best way to handle it is you get the POET system for your existing well, you get reimbursed by the spill fund. That'll give us time to either say, do you want us to run a water line or don't you? And we're going to have to see where we are with participation from the residents. There might be residents say in one area they want a water line. Maybe we could do it in an area. I'm not sure yet how this is all going to go, but we need the information to help the state and also to kind of go over with the residents and try to make a decision as to which way they want to go. Keep their private wells. Some will be eligible for the POET system and reimbursed by the spill fund. Some will not. They'll be under the parameters. So the residents are going to have some choices, but we need to get the information so that we can, one, get the information back to the state, and two, so that we can kind of, as a group here, make some sort of decision as to what we're
And understand with more and more data, we can understand the scope of the problem.
Correct, correct. We're trying to really establish the limits of the problem. And by getting, hopefully, the bulk of the residents tested, this will help, facilitate that.
Can you announce these streets again?
Sure, it is Cypress, Poplar, Mill Run, Moss View, and Moss Mill, right?
Can you hold that up because that You're looking at the little.
I was looking at this, my cheat sheet for my
Oh.
my notes today. There's nothing
You
on there
had
about
that
it.
then, didn't you?
What was that? There were
You
had
the,
We have a
tax
map.
map. Yeah,
We have a map.
the
We
lot
can-
blocks.
yeah,
We could post it.
Yeah, what we'll do is, we're waiting for some other, some people said they're going to be testing, so I want to see, once we get maybe a couple weeks from now, put out a map and show where the results came in.
I think one thing we could say is that so far, with the test results where you did have the hits, it's a pretty tight cluster.
It is.
Out of the 54 homes, 11 people have done it.
Correct.
And only 3 of those
We've gotten results back from
have been
11.
positive.
Yeah. So, I don't want to get too into the weeds with all this, but here's what you're facing here. You have the EPA giving health advisory levels, which are more stringent than the current state levels, but they haven't been adopted yet. What we're being told is it could be 3 or 4 years before the health advisory gets converted into something that's more strict and stringent. So we're just trying to get ahead of this to see what the scope and the limit of the problem is and figure out how best to solve it. Listen, at the end of the day, if you only have 5 or 6 or 7 residents that test over, the easiest fix would be have them go in the public system and be done with it. But if it's more invasive, then we're going to need to make some decisions here.
And the other thing that we were going to possibly do, and correct if I'm wrong, is maybe just send out a general letter and ask whether people might be interested in public water supply, for that area. And then get a response back to that and see how many people might be interested if we do want to extend water, because there are some other funds, not spill fund, but there's some other programs.
That's 2 different ways now. Which way are you going to do it?
Well, we're going to have to do this thing simultaneously. One way is to help the residents get the testing, and the other way would be, I think.
No, I mean, either you're going to contact them by phone or you're going to do a letter.
I think you contact them by phone. I think we go put door knockers out there and talk to them.
Yeah.
We got to get squared away with the testing.
Yeah, I'll have
And
to look
then
through
we'll
the-
get squared away. I think the easiest way to deal with the water line is to get everybody in the room and say, here's what we're thinking. What do you guys want to do? Here's your choices.
I hope not, but you probably have a percentage that don't even know what's going on.
Probably.
And I think the other thing we talked
The door
about
hanger
is,
should hopefully, you get that door hanger, tell them to call, and
Well,
then share
hopefully,
this information will
As
hopefully
Mr.
be helpful.
Batiste said, we might not have all accurate phone numbers for the residents, so.
And that's why the door hanger would come in handy.
Right.
They could get it and call us.
If that all fails, then you start knocking on doors. You got no other choice.
But like I said, we have the ability to facilitate the testing. The residents reimburse us, but I'd like to get this done in the next 60 days.
You have a comprehensive list of the private wellers.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yeah, I think that'll help tremendously if you turn around and tell them, hey, listen, this is what it's going to be, this is what the rate's going to be, if we could test then and get those people all lined up, I think that'll help tremendously.
Now for the 11 people who've already tested, if we were to get this reduced rate for people who have not tested, is there something we could do for the 11 people
Yeah,
who
so
already tested?
what we talked about in Public Works is this. If you've already got your well tested, or you've already called and scheduled your well testing, and you pay, let's say, $500, the town will reimburse you up to the $360. So
okay,
you'd
we
be
can-
responsible for the $360, the town will eat the other $150 or $200, whatever that number is.
If we can
yes.
get that out to those 11 residents too, especially because they were nice enough to share us with all that information, that'd be great.
Say it again, you're going to, I thought you were going to pay the first
right,
test.
360.
You're going to pay 360.
No, the residents are going to pay the $360 back to the town. That's what we talked about last week.
Okay.
So $360 is what you're out for.
Okay.
If you're one of the 11, or maybe we know there's others who have requested the test. If you spent more than $360, the town will reimburse you. We have the list. We'll get all that worked out.
For whatever's over the 360.
Whatever over so if it's $500, we give you a check for $140.
Yep, gotcha.
Right now, the most you're out of pocket is $360. If your well has a positive hit on the first round, you do your second round testing, you're reimbursed by the spill fund.
And we'll be notifying the people that had the hits, that they had to do their second round testing.
Yes, because there's a time. Now, so the other thing too is, thank you, Mr. Batiste. If you tested positive on your first round, you only have a limited amount of time to schedule the second round test to get your reimbursement from the spill fund. So Mr. Batiste is working with those homeowners to tell them.
Okay.
what the time frame is.
And let them know about the
Yes.
reimbursement.
We do know the first resident who brought this to our attention is already on to the next phase, which is getting the quotes and getting the POA system installed. And again, that gets reimbursed by the spill fund.
The other things we'll ask for, so we can just keep them informed, is one, their phone number, and if they can give us their email
Yes.
address. We can keep them informed that way also.
That's good?
The only other thing we had is just from the Public Works schedule for August. Bulky waste will be the first full week of the month, which would be the 1st through the 5th. Curbside pickup of brush would be the second full week. That would be the 8th through the 12th. And then the county recycling will be 2 times in August, which would be the 8th through the 12th, and the 8/22 to 8/26. For September, the first Monday of September would be a holiday for the town employees, so that would be your whatever trash would be on that first Monday in September will be picked up on Tuesday.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Batiste.
Welcome.
If you don't mind, I'm being asked by a couple different residents. I didn't mention that Little League meeting of August the 21st. It's, I believe it's a Sunday night. It's at 6 o'clock. Anyone out there interested, like I said earlier, I didn't mention when it was. It's 6 o'clock, the 21st. I just being texted here by a few residents. I guess there's some people that are interested. Just so everyone's aware.
Real quick, while we're talking about the park, do we have an
I have other things on the agenda, but I just thought, one resident's good as 15,000 residents.
do we have an update on playground for the park construction?
Yes.
Park?
Sure. The delivery of the equipment is due 27th, 28th. So
That's tentative.
yes,
I mean,
yeah.
that could go either way there.
It's like 3 days from now?
Yep.
Yeah, so we're going to coordinate like where we're going to store it, and we got to pour the rubber surface and get all that done. So next few weeks, once we get that in, then we can rebuild the fence, stripe the parking lot, button it up. So we're pretty close to being done. But yes, the critical path will be the equipment that's on its way.
Through beginning of September? Or?
Yeah, I would think by end of August, we should have everything buttoned up. Yeah,
I haven't been down there. They're going to start up again. Have they been down there yet?
Yeah, they were down there Friday and today.
Yeah, they were going to do the
building a
wall,
retaining
right?
wall. That's
the
that's
wall,
built.
the path,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
where the playground goes. They're supposed to be getting that all done.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they should have that done when the equipment comes, and then we'll see where if they're on value. If it's the same contractor, you got to remember.
Yeah. So
We got them jumping, wherever. But hopefully, like Mark said, by the end of August, that's kind of the plan right now.
Okay. Yeah, if I'm just thinking if we did have to move the Green Day, then if we're moving it from construction zone to construction zone, if that's going to be done mid-September,
yeah.
and they're going to be out of there, then at least we'll have a partially new area.
October.
October
Beginning
5th, right?
October.
Yeah, we'll be
I think
done.
it's the 5th.
Maybe the first week of September.
Okay.
yeah, that's the latest. So yes.
You never know if the playground equipment gets held up a few days.
Right. Yep.
And then, Mayor, we're going to start working on Phase 2, the limits of that construction next,
Correct.
which would be all the ADA compliance stuff.
Right.
Correct? Which is outside the fence.
Currently.
Correct. But the playground is only, that's not all the work that's going to be done, what you see now. That's like phase 1 of a multi-phase project. So, okay?
Phase 2 or 3 inside the playground. There's
Inside the playground will be additional work also.
2 or 3. I don't know. We'll see as we go along there. But the entire playground will be completely refurbished, right? More or less.
Yep. All right. Anything else, Mr. Batiste?
That's all. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Zuber, Administrator's Report, Clerk Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. I have several items on the Town Clerk Report. First thing, accept resignation of Hardik Patel from his position as police officer. This is effective July 16th, 2022. Approval to hire David DeStefano as a part-time recycling program aide which is a convenience station attendant, effective July 25th of 2022. $15 per hour, no benefits, and it's pending civil service rules and regulations. Approved payment of accrued benefits balance to Hardik Patel in the amount of $415.49. Approved payment of accrued benefit balance to Pedro Benitez in the amount of $553.50. Approved payment of accrued benefits balance to Paul Sacco in the amount of $8,246.89. Accept retirement of Mark Florentino from his position as captain from the Hammonton Police Department, effective August 1st of 2022. Approve to hire Eric Adderzone in the Highway Department as a truck driver, full-time, 40 hours a week, yearly salary of $33,280, single benefits, also contingent upon all civil service rules and regulations. Approve the two-step advancement in the salary guide for the three full-time police dispatchers, and that would be effective August 1st of 2022. Approve payment of equipment and CDL stipends to the Highway Department, and that would be retroactive to July 1st of 2022. Approval is read.
So moved.
Gribbon first,
Second.
second Woolerman. Discussion on any of the 9 items. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Virgioni?
Yes.
Gribbon?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo? Rodeo?
Yes.
Woolerman?
Yes.
And Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
Approved bill list?
So moved.
Gribbon first,
Second.
second Oliva. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Virgioni?
Yes.
Gribbon?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo? Rodeo?
Yes.
Woolerman?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
We have resolutions. Resolution 99, tax water sewer refunds. Resolution 100, it's a 159 budget addition for Clean Communities in the amount of $37,865.70. Resolution 101, approved Touch-a-Truck event. Resolution 102, it's also a 159 budget addition for the History Partnership Program grant, and that's for $3,600. Resolution 103 is also in addition to the budget for a 159 budget addition for Neighborhood Preservation Grant. That's for $125,000. Resolution 104, approved shared services agreement with Atlantic County Improvement Authority.
Motion for is read, please. Olivo first,
Second.
Rodeo second. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Virgioni?
Yes.
Gribbon?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Woolerman?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
Olivo.
I would like to congratulate myself, because this is the first meeting I got through, and I did Olivo and Oliva.
I usually mess it up.
You did. I'm proud, Mayor. I'm very proud.
The second opportunity of the public to be heard, please step to the mic. Come on up, please. Come talk to us.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Town Council, and general public, and of course, as we're being recorded, the Town of Hammonton. We just take this.
I'm sorry, can you state your name and address for the public record?
Yes.
Thanks.
Edwin Negroni, 217 Cottage Avenue,
Thank you.
current president of the Puerto Rican Civic Association, and of course, my colleague here, Vice President Wanda Hernandez. Taking this opportunity again to emphasize the Puerto Rican community, inviting, of course, all of you, as we are the next month coming up, approaching, we're going to have that Puerto Rican celebration. As usual, we want everyone to participate. It's just because it's just the Puerto Rican heritage doesn't mean that we cannot invite the rest of the town, as the Italian community does as well with their heritage. So we're there with open hearts, plenty of food, and everyone is welcome to come and participate and celebrate with us part of our heritage. And again, I'd like to give thanks to the Town of Hammonton that has given us many years of opportunity for us to continue our heritage and being part of this great town that we like.
Thank you. Thank you. We are blessed to have your association being involved in the Town of Hammonton and all the hardworking people.
Thank you again, and I'll let you be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public like to be heard? I want to dispel one thing that I was unclear in the paper. It basically alluded to possibility of a sale of a property on Washington and 11th. That is not the case. We have not sat with anybody. We have not entertained any offer. We have not done anything on that parcel since the last meeting. So I have nothing new to report on that parcel other than we basically, what we did last meeting, correct?
Where it currently stands.
Yeah. We're currently in a standstill.
And as the mayor always gives his phone number out, you know, if anybody has any other questions that they may seem confused about or want more information, my phone number is 609-230-7091.
Whoa.
Okay? So you could call me too if you ever want to discuss anything, anytime. Maybe not in the middle of the night because my phone is downstairs, but I sleep upstairs. So, but I truly will try and answer your questions to the best of my ability. And that number again, 609-230-7091, anytime except in the middle of the night. Okay?
The mayor's 24/7 in case anybody.
Yeah, he's the other
Middle of the
one.
night problem, call the mayor.
517-6324.
All right.
I have one
Go ahead,
announcement. I was provided with some information, as council in the town may know, Temple Bethel on Bellevue Avenue. It's been a fixture in Hammonton since 1937, and it announced its closure over a year ago. This Sunday, July 31st, they'll be having a closing ceremony there from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with a sharing at 11:30 a.m. So I just wanted to announce that for our town. Thank you.
Anything else for the good of the order from council, please? With that, I'd accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Liva first. Livo second. Eddie, all in favor?
Aye.
Good night, Hammonton. Thank
Making
you.
it difficult right up to the very.
Guys, look, we need the rain, but we don't need severe weather. We are unfortunately, for some of our viewing area, looking at some heavy thunderstorms coming through. Beneficial rain, sure, but we could do without the lightning and the wind chances and all that kind of stuff. The rest of the week is unsettled. No one day is a washout, but there will be several opportunities of some rain coming through. So as the storms wrap up tonight, we should become partly sunny, a little bit more comfortable. Sunshine back tomorrow afternoon. Low to mid 80s does it for highs. And going forward into the rest of the week, a lot of 90s will be popping up.